Nema Kitanoi. We're 8 lines down from the top of the page, 9 lines down maybe from the top of the page. Nema Kitanoi. Let us say this is an argument of the Tanoim. And this discussion that we're having about cooked vegetables. Let us say that this is an argument of the Tanoim, of the rabbis that authored the Mishnahs and Brises, because we were discussing it, we were talking about it as Amoiraim, later Talmudic rabbis, but not Mishnah rabbis. We were talking about the later generation rabbis were discussing this, and it was students of Rabbi Yochanan. What did Rabbi Yochanan hold? The bracha on cooked vegetables, and that's what we've been discussing now for a few days, is this bracha on these cooked vegetables. So let's say that this is an argument of the earlier rabbis called the Tanoim. The Hanu Trei Talmidei, the Havuyasi Kamid Bar Kapara. There were 2 students that were sitting in front of Bar Kapara. So Bar Kapara was a Tana, it's from the last generation of the Tanoim. And he had 2 students. Heviu Lefanov Kruv B'dermaskin. They brought before him cooked cabbage and cooked some type of a herb, dermaskin. I don't know if the English translates it, but it's some type of an herb that's cooked, and
plums.
What is it translated as?
Damascene plums.
Damascene plums. Okay.
That means from Damascus. Plums from Damascus.
Damascus. Okay. The dermaskin. Is from the word Damascus. Okay. Dermaskin. Damascus plums. Okay. Upargios, and some type of a chicken or bird, some bird meat. What'd you say?
Yeah, no, it's pullet. They have it. That's what it is in Safaria, which is, I guess, an immature chicken. Pull.
Young chick.
Is that the term for a young chicken, a young hen?
Yeah, I believe so.
Because the term nowadays, pargiot, I think means the dark meat. If I'm not mistaken, okay. That's what they use now for dark meat. Is that right?
No, yeah. Pargiot was young chickens.
It just means
a young chicken. When my mother went to the butcher, she got pullets, which was a young chicken.
So maybe that. Okay. In any event, the translation here says it's called a bird called koira, a koira bird, which sounds like it's not an actual chicken. But anyway, in any event, whatever it was, so they brought these before Rab Bar Kapara. And Nasan Bar Kapara Rishus Leachad Behen Levarech. So Bar Kapara said to one of the students, why don't you recite the bracha first and have everyone else in mind? Kafatz uberach ala pargios. He jumped and recited the bracha on this meat, on this chicken or bird meat. And Ligleg olav chaveiroi, and his friend sort of laughed at him. And of course, Bar Kapara got angry. Amar loyal hamavarich hanikayis. I'm not angry at the one who said the bracha. Ella al hamalagle hanikayis. I'm angry that the person would make fun of this other person. Why would you make fun of your friend? So he was upset that he's making fun of the other student. And if your friend seems like he's never tasted the taste of meat in his life, and ata al maliglagta, why would you make fun of him? In other words, he jumped to have this chicken. He hadn't had meat in a long time. To him, this was a delicacy. So he decided to recite the bracha on the meat first. And the friend obviously felt that that's wrong. You shouldn't recite the bracha on the meat first. But Bar Kapara was angry. Why are you laughing at him? He obviously is very hungry for meat, and that's, to him, that was a preference. He hadn't had it maybe in his whole life. And Chazar B'Yomar, then Bar Kapara said that I'm not angry at the person who made fun of the other one. I'm angry at the person who recited the bracha, which means he's saying, I'm basically angry at both of you. Both of you did the wrong thing. So first he says, I'm angry at the one who makes fun. And then he says, I'm angry at the one who recited the bracha. And he said, Im chachma ein kan, zikna ein kan. If you hold that I'm not wise as a scholar, at least I'm experienced. I'm an elder, and because of my age, you should have asked me which one, what you should recite the bracha on first to exempt the others.
Rabbi,
Yes.
Pargiyot, the reason you say he never enjoyed it, because Pargiyot, the meat is tender and more tasty than an old chicken. An old chicken is more dry, know. So it's a delicacy.
Interesting. So you're saying that it's cheaper to buy the regular chicken because
right, per pound it's cheaper, but the pargiya is smaller.
Right. Yes, Susan.
There's also very little meat on that size chicken.
Right.
It's mostly bone. There's not that much meat. But the thing, when you go to the next thing in the Gemara bothers me a lot. What it says.
Okay, well, we didn't do it yet.
Okay. I just want to say it's bothersome to me.
You're going ahead. You're getting yourself into trouble, Susan.
It's not that it kind of, I don't understand.
In driving, that's called a speeding ticket.
Okay, sorry. Sorry. All right.
So the Gemara says here that I must say this is a very surprising story. This story itself is a little unclear, like what did he do wrong, and it deserves a lot of commentary. But Rashi over here says that I am an elder. You should have asked me on which one to recite the bracha and exempt the other foods. And then Rashi mentions that these foods are not part of the meal, and they would need a bracha before them, which if you think about it, what are we talking about? Cooked cabbage, the what was that? A plum, a Damascus plum that you translated, and pargiot is this type of delicacy, which sounds like what Ben is saying, like it's such a delicacy, it's not even like part of the meal, like they would have it maybe it was like a dessert even, because the plum makes sense that it would be dessert. I'm not sure about the cabbage, cooked cabbage, if that's ever used as a dessert.
No, you cook the whole thing together. You add always vegetables to a chicken. You don't cook a chicken without vegetables.
It's interesting. Rashi says that it would have needed a bracha even if they ate them, even if they had bread.
Forgot to mention carrots.
Which is interesting. The commentary here in the back. He deals with the fact that nowadays, well, he's got a long note over here, that nowadays it doesn't seem right. What does that mean? We would not recite a bracha on chicken during a meal. And Rashi over here is saying that this is during a meal, and yet they needed to recite a bracha.
Before the meal.
So he deals with that. But in any event, the other problem is what exactly is the what's wrong? What's wrong with what he did? He recited a bracha on something that he liked. But in order to get to that, we really have to finish the Gemara. So the Gemara says, Tana Shneim lo yotziu shnasan, both of them ended up passing away that year. It's a little unclear what the reason is, but it would seem that one of them was paskin the law, Meira halacha b'fnei rabbi. Paskin gave a verdict in front of his rebbe, and even the person who made fun was giving a psak and halacha, gave a verdict in law in front of his rebbe without asking his rebbe what the law is. So both of them seemed to transgress this, and it was considered a very severe sin. And
Rabbi?
another understanding is that he didn't have proper respect in front of his rebbe to go and make fun of someone without having the fear and awe that a person should have in front of his rebbe. So there's different understandings of what the reason for this very severe punishment is. Yes, Ezra.
Well, when the one who derided the first one, he might have caused his face to blanch.
So it'd be like a Mavayish Barabin, Mavayish Havera. Well, I don't know if you call it Barabin, but he embarrassed his friend. I don't know if the punishment is death, but maybe Mavayish Havera.
Hashem does what Hashem does.
But in any event, the reason the Gemara brings this is, as we'll see now, is what was the bracha on these foods. So let me just finish off over here. So my lab hakamiflagi, the Gemara asks, what were they arguing about? What was this debate between the students? It must be that, and this is what they're arguing. The mavarich savar shlakos upargios shakol ne'abavari. The person who recited the bracha felt that anything cooked, you recite shahakol on. Any cooked vegetables, you recite shahakol, and therefore they're all the same bracha, and hilka chavev adif, therefore you recite whatever's more cherishable, whatever you want more. And that's what you recite the bracha. Malagleg savar shlakos barpi adama. And the person who made fun laughed at him. He felt that he held that shlakos, which are the cooked vegetable, is not a shahakal, but it retains its term pre, and it would be barpi adama. Pargiyos shakal ne'bavarei, but the chicken would be shahakal, and so it comes out that the brachas are not equal. In hilkach pera adif, and therefore the fruit would be more important, because the bracha is considered more chashuv, more significant, more important, because it gives the actual fruit barei pri adama rather than shahakal, which is more generic, and therefore the pera is adif. So this is where the Gemara is saying that it sounds like this argument of our Gemara is based on really an earlier argument between the two students of our kapara. And the Gemara says, "Loi, no. Everyone really agrees that cooked vegetables could be shahakol, and the bracha was the same. And here, what they're arguing about is mar savar chavev adif. One rabbi felt that the most important thing for a bracha is whatever you like better, whatever is cherished by you is more important, and that takes precedence. You should recite the bracha on that. Marsavar, kruv adif, and the other one, the other student felt that kruv, he believed that kruv, the cabbage, is better than the other two options because it gives sustenance to the person, and therefore he made fun, and that's the one you should recite the bracha on because of Zion, because it gives it sustains, and because of its sustaining value, it should take precedence. And we'll see later on. It's in about 5 pages. It does talk about this. That kruv, that cabbage, is considered a food that gives mazon. So in any event, this is the Gemara that tried to connect the idea, the laws of shlakos to this story, It would prove that there's an argument, an earlier argument, and then the Gemara says that it's not a proof because it could be that really everyone agrees that they are shahakol. So we'll have to speak about this as well, Mitzvah Hashem, tomorrow. Okay, everyone, have a wonderful day.
Thank you,
Thank
Rabbi.
you, Rabbi.
Thank you, Rabbi.
Thank you,
Take care,
Thank you,
everyone.
Rabbi.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.